And with the courage of his conviction, he joined Cavendish Laboratory at Cambridge, took his PhD with Professor Fowler, and continued working in physics. And in Cambridge, some of the things I don't even understand. He has produced the theory of Bhabha scattering, that is relativistic exchange scattering. The Bhabha-Heitler theory, it is one of the most important theories of quantum physics. The lot of work he has done on cosmic rays and elementary particles, and he suggested the name meson for a particle, an elementary particle of mass about 200 times that of the electron. And he also predicted and forecast relativist time dilation effects. So many things he has done in Cambridge. Then what happened? In 1939, he came to India on a short vacation. Unfortunately, or fortunately for India, the Second World War started, and it was difficult for him to go back. So what did he do? He joined the #1 research institute of all times in India, the Indian Institute of Science, as a reader of physics. But poor man was sorely disappointed. He realized that there is a very serious lack of facilities for research in physics in IISc and all other places. And what did he do? He didn't remain quiet. Bhabha wanted to rectify such a deplorable situation, and on March 12, 1944, he wrote to Morarji Tata. As I said, they were family friends, to fund a school of research in fundamental physics. And so the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research came into existence in June 1945. Where did it start? It started at the Indian Institute of Science. Okay, this is a letter. This is the letter he has written to Morarji. There is at the moment in India no big school of research in the fundamental problems of physics, both theoretical and experimental. And look at what he has written next. It is absolutely in the interest of India to have a vigorous school of research in fundamental physics. For such a school forms the spearhead of research, not only in less advanced branches of physics, not the next statement, but also in problems of immediate and practical applications in industry. The visionary has started to raise his head. He had the vision. The physics which I am going to do here is going to be not only pure physics, but for practical applications. So he said, the scheme I am now submitting to you is but an embryo from which I hope to build up in the course of time a school of physics comparable with the best anywhere. So the institute commenced its work on June 1, 1945 as Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in IISc. The institute was soon shifted to Bombay and formally inaugurated by Sir John Colville, Governor of Bombay, on December 19, 1945. And it took shape in the Kenilworth bungalow at Tata's Road. It functioned there during 1945-1949. Of course, soon the space was not good enough. So in September 1949, the institute moved from 6,000 square feet of Kenilworth to 35,000 square feet of OIC. All of us are familiar with the OIC building. So initially that was thought that should be enough. But he anticipated many more things. So in the inaugural lecture, when it was shifted to Kenilworth from IISc, he made a statement. He made two statements. Science has at last opened up the possibility of freedom for all from long hours of manual drudgery. And today we stand at the beginning. Please note this. This is in 1945. Today we stand at the beginning of an age when every person will have the opportunity to develop himself spiritually to his fullest stage. With what? With the mastery of atomic energy and the accelerating progress of science in other fields. The world in 100 years, look at the visionary, will look as different from today as today is different from the Middle Ages. The visionary is fully awake. And the TIFR took shape. In 1950s, again, that is after shifting to OIC, it was again time to move to a permanent location. And the architect, artist, nature lover who was Bhabha selected a spacious plot in Colaba. And that plot belonged to the Ministry of Defense. Even now, some of those plots around it belongs to the Navy. With the Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru gave him permission, and the new site work was started in 1954. On January 1954, January 1, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru laid the foundation stone, and the institute designed and built as per the wishes of Bhabha, the architect, stands today spread out over 56,000 square feet of built-up area on 15-acre campus. These are some of the photos of the plan of the institute. The inaugural address. You can see Bhabha giving the inaugural lecture. And the institute in its final shape. And all of you must have been here in this lounge. So a conflation of intellectual, nature-loving, aesthetic, architectural environment. That is what came out. But if you remember my earlier projection, he mentioned one thing there. What was that? With the mastery of the accelerated progress of science and with the atomic energy, I think he mentioned it. He has mentioned that science within atomic area also will be important. And that is, why should he say that in August 1945? A little boy told him, start it. Which little boy? This little boy. August 6, 1945, 8:15 a.m., the little boy went to Hiroshima. And we all know what happened. Bhabha, the visionary, as evidence from the TFR inaugural talk in 1945, had already realized that nuclear energy is going to play a great role in a nation's progress and even the nation's existence. He therefore convinced Jawaharlal Nehru on the urgent requirement to start India's nuclear program. Bhabha recognized, see, every point, every action of his illustrates how much of a visionary he was. When he wanted Nehru to start the atomic energy, he made one condition. He recognized that a program of such magnitude can accomplish things only if it is free from routine bureaucratic processes, especially in our country. So Bhabha wrote to Nehru in 1948, the development of atomic energy should be entrusted to very selected and high-powered body composed of, say, 3 people with executive power and answerable only to the Prime Minister, without any intervening link. This body for brevity may be referred to as the Atomic Energy Commission. So the Atomic Energy Commission was formed with Bhabha as its chairman. But then what happened? In 1948, Nehru appointed Bhabha as the first chairman of Atomic Energy Commission. Bhabha realized that Atomic Energy Commission is only a decision-making body and it will not be enough. The program will require a full-fledged department of the government. So in 1954, he proposed that the government establish Department of Atomic Energy to fund, create, operate the nation's atomic energy program. So we all came out of that. That department was established in its present avatar in 1954. The DAE started functioning directly under the Prime Minister. It still functions. I hope, I'm not sure, the present situation. It still functions under the Prime Minister. So initial activities, of course, were carried out at TAFR. And some of us, and some people were in Bombay Line Godown in Cadell Road. Some people were at OIC. So the activities were to be concentrated on a single place. So what did Bhabha do? We know what he did for TAFR, about 250 acres or something. For atomic energy, a site area of about 1,200 acres. And the nature lover in him made him select the site bounded on one side by the Bombay Hills and by the waters of the Bombay Harbor at the other. AET was formally dedicated to the nation by the Prime Minister on January 20, 1957. Bhabha's dream was to build up in time an intellectual atmosphere approaching that of Cambridge or Paris departments. The TAFR was started with this vision. The vision advanced much more with the nuclear energy program. So where did they start? A TAFR AEC team, we know all of them. Mr. Prasad, our reactor superintendent, Dr. Ramanna, our director BARC chairman, Mr. A.S. Rao, and Dr. Simi from TAFR, discussed and considered where should we start. And they thought, okay, let us start with a small reactor, a swimming pool reactor. It was designed by July 1955. Mr. A.S. Rao Reactor Control Division designed and built the control system. N.B. Prasad prepared all the engineering drawings and supervised the construction. I hope we all remember those people also. And Apsara was achieved criticality on August 4, 1956, the first research reactor to achieve criticality in Asia. This is the Apsara inauguration, 1957. Nehru inaugurated the Apsara. But then what happened? The little boy was followed by many other big boys. The Soviet Union detonated its first bomb, East Delhi 501, on August 29, 1949. The first British atomic bomb was busted in Australian territory in collaboration with Australia in 1952. And in 1964, China had its first nuclear test. Where were we? Nowhere. What about the peaceful applications? In 1954, the world's first nuclear power station, which was only going to operate a small battery to generate electricity, was started. Obinsk Nuclear Power Plant. The world's first full-scale nuclear power station, you all know, Calder Hall in the United Kingdom, October 1956. And the US Shippingport Power Station, December 1957. Bhabha was deeply aware of the urgent need to scale up India's nuclear program from that swimming pool, Apsara. And the high-power research reactor, CIR, now it is called CIRUS, was conceived. And how did it go? Of course, when you think of big things, you have to start big. From the very start of the nuclear energy program, Bhabha emphasized, when nuclear energy has been successfully applied for power production, in say a couple of decades from now, India will not have to look abroad for its experts, but should find them at home. So what did you do? To ensure a pipeline of well-trained scientists and engineers, the AEET, Atomic Energy Establishment Bombay, started with its own atomic energy training school in 1957. The school's first corps of students, including me and my colleagues, about 150, were selected from more than 20,000 applications. What was their qualification? That is very important. All fresh graduates from all over the country. The thousands of trainees following them even today in various important institutions provide India's large share of scientific and technological talents. Why did he select only fresh graduates? The usual practice in those days and even now, if you want to start something new, get all experienced people. Somebody who is already doing postdoctoral fellowship somewhere or a professor in some university, like, what's the harm? It is it won't work. Because those people think they know everything. So they won't look for new things. They won't think new things. They won't attempt to do new things. Bhabha realized this and he wanted fresh graduates. And they came from everywhere, every corner of India. The first batch contained Bhattacharya, Ray Sinha, Singh P.A. Laluwalia, Parekh Mehta Desai Shah, Gokhale Sathe Joshi, Lingappa Baba Kutrappa, Karta Namburi Iyer, Abraham Jose D'Souza, Nasamnacharya Raghavendra, Venkataraman Srinivasan, Kameswaran, and so on. We lived together, we learned together, we worked together, we planned, designed, built science, and started science. Bhabha's faith in them was fully justified. I don't have to tell this to you because what I am going to say now, you might have heard hundreds of times. With their strong bonding, this is applicable for all trainings. They took forward the atomic energy program of the New India. There was no problem they could not solve. And this is, even today, I don't know whether it is mentioned. If you have a problem, just walk down the modular corridor. One end will be metallurgy division, the other end is nuclear physics. In between, there is chemistry, analytical chemistry, spectroscopy, this, that. There is nothing you cannot solve. What? Once or twice this way, that way. Even one of your batchmates or a fresher will give you the solution. This is what we used to say, and I think it is true even today. And this is the finished product, Cyrus. It was used for production of isotopes, research and development in reactor technology, manpower training, neutron beam research, neutron activation analysis, testing of fuel assemblies, testing of neutron detectors. At this stage, I would like to mention two incidents. One is how much faith, one that illustrates how much faith Baba had in his freshers. He believed in them and his faith was fully validated. I have this from my own personal experience because I may be one of the few who had the great fortune to interact directly with Baba on a particular problem. As Govindamurthy has said, we first batch trainees did not complete the 1 year training. They were all allotted to different divisions after 6 months. And myself, Kameswaran, Srinivasan, and Sethuraman were put in spectroscopy section of analytical division. Venkata Subramanian, Radhakrishnan, Ramendran, Parekh, Kabinavar, all those went to analytical. Damodaran, Namarjit, Naik, all those went to chemistry, like that. Hariharan, Nambudiri, and others. Of course, Dr. Krishnan also went to analytical. Let me say that. Hariharan, Nambudiri, Ayir, all went to radiochemistry, like that. So we thought, okay, the training will continue in the spectroscopy section. Not like that. Straight away, we were given jobs. And the job given to me was standardize the method for analysis of heavy water and certification of the heavy water that has to go in the Canada-India reactor. The method, it was more or less a classified topic. Only one report, one Gaunt, Dr. Gaunt from UK was available with us. That used a very, very primitive instrument. And when I searched, I found that a very good instrument has come in the market at that time. And so we got that, the double beam instrument, which was much more simpler to operate. And we standardized the method. I was more or less confident, yes, I can do the analysis. We had to do the analysis at the level of D2O 99.7 plus 99.7% plus or minus 0.003%. That is the error limit allowed. We standardized that method to that level, and more or less, it was information was passed on to those concerned. And can you imagine? The man did not believe me or believe the spectroscopy people. He came down to check. These people are saying they can do it 99.7 plus or minus 0.003. Let me see. He came to the lab. Homi Bhabha came to the lab. Dr. Narsimhan brought him to my lab. I was sitting in front of the infrared instrument. When Baba came, naturally I got up and I was dumbfounded because I never had seen him or talked to him. And now why he has come, I didn't know. So Dr. Narsimhan started to talk. Dr. Bhabha, this is Karta. He was allowed to say only that much. You know what Dr. Bhabha said? Dr. Narsimham, let me hear what Karta did from Karta's mouth. You can go. I got dumbfounded. Just ask me, you think you can certify the standards samples? I said, yes. Okay, next week you move to Trombay, set up your instrument and things there, and do the analysis. And this is just about end of 1958. Just half an year in school, about 1 year actual work. And I shifted to Trombay, and I am happy to say his faith in me was fully justified. Let me boast a little bit. But then what happened? The CIR was not enough. The Indian nuclear aspirations had to go much further. So Serlina came, Dhruva came, the Purnimas came, and the critical facility for advanced heavy water reactor also came. All this came, the CW, advanced heavy water reactor critical facility, gave 10 to the power of 9 neutrons per meter per second for any neutron experiment. And Trombay came into shape. At Trombay, Bhabha saw all these things, had a landscape of his own design. He planted, he said, he planted more than, he got more than 1 million trees planted on the hill, Trombay. And we have the figure, the result. The Dhruva, forest, all the gardens, and the interior. You know, you all are familiar with this. What a beautiful sight. Can you imagine an ordinary person thinking of, but only a visionary can do that. This shows the greatness of Bhabha and his a few pictures from his earlier life. With Niels Bohr and J.R.D. Tata, his brother Jamshed Bhabha, plutonium plant inauguration, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Einstein Yukawa, with Einstein and Yukawa, and with C.V. Raman, almost all Nobel laureates. And his artist did not remain quiet during all these years. I could put here only one example, but there are dozens of paintings which he has made. Those who are interested can look it up in the internet. So, what about Bhabha? That is Homi Jehangir Bhabha, Jehangir Bhabha, Meherbani Bhabha, Homi Bhabha, Jamshed Bhabha. And why I am showing this? How can any human being, how he can achieve all these things? The answer is here. Bhabha said, I know clearly what I want out of life. I love the consciousness of life, and I want as much of it as I can get. But the span of one's life is limited. It is not under your control. But what comes after death, no one knows, nor do I care. Since I cannot increase the content of life by increasing its duration, none of us can do it. Increase it by increasing its intensity. Art, music, poetry, and everything else that I do have this one purpose: increasing the intensity of my consciousness of life. So that is how he achieved all these things. So where do we come? Homi Jehangir Bhabha was an extraordinary visionary, a person who was an eminent scientist, a lover of art, music, and culture, an architect with a sense of natural beauty. And above all, the scientist who single-handedly visualized, planned, and brought into existence the spirit of modern science in several generations of young Indians and changed the science and technological atmosphere in the country. On 24 January 1966, Homi Bhabha died when his plane Air India Flight 101 crashed into Mont Blanc. He left his legacy behind in the form of institutions of science, scientific eminence. But institutions are not enough. Thousands of young scientists and engineers having an producing an electrifying effect on science for India. And what is the legacy he has left for India? TIFR. Just one institute? No. The Radio Astronomy Group, Kalyan. National Center for Radio Astrophysics, Pune. Radio Telescope, Uti. National Center for Biological Sciences, Bangalore. BARC. Variable Energy Cyclotron. IGCAR, RRCAT. Nuclear Power Corporation. 22 power reactors. ESIL, NFC. And thousands of young scientists and engineers involved in extensive research and development in nuclear chemistry, nuclear engineering, material sciences, electronics engineering, biomedicine, advanced computation, high energy plasma physics, environmental science, high purity materials. What else is left in science? I am sure you are all familiar with these two pictures. This is, of course, Bombay. This is the place where many of us have spent their lives. Thank you all.
Thanks, Dr. Kartha. Thanks for a wonderful talk. And if anybody want to interact with Dr. Kartha, now forum is open.
They are all my equals. So they,
You are batchmates.
they don't have any questions. They may have answers.
If you want to ask anything about Baba or his interaction with Baba, you can inquire with him.
We are in the first batch, from the same batch. I was at Cattle Road from 1957 through 66 until we moved to Trompe. And we had a good time. You are right.
We had a good time. We had a good time. And you had the opportunity to go to US and become a big man. I congratulate you for getting the President's Award of the President of the United States of America. Can you imagine? I hope, I really wanted to get an award from Homi Bhabha. I didn't even get that. And he got an award from President.
Everything is due to Baba.
In fact, Dr. Sri Krishna had given the
I was planning to become a junior clerk in AG's office. Thanks to Baba, who changed my life.
Can you imagine? You would have been in Tirunelveli or Kollam or Kottayam somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
Your ambition was telling to become a UDC, na? From NTC to UDC. That's why he graduated.
No, if you have a first class, you get UDC. If you don't have first class, you get LDC. And
finally,
all I wanted was to have a good yogurt before dying.
No, Dr. Krishnan, you would have come to MPO in Spectroscopy Division.
A few points were missing when
Old people എന്നുള്ള
Dr. Narasimham
first
Dr.
batch,
Baba
training school
visited
first batch.
your lab.
Homi Bhabha கூட பேசியிருக்காரு.
Pardon?
You know, Dr. Kartha,
Yeah.
எல்லாம் 80
that sometime the audio was not audible. And
Yeah.
Dr. Narasimham, Dr. Homi Baba visited your lab when Narasimham tried to explain. From that point onwards, a little bit was missing.
Yeah, what Narasimhan started to say, Karta has started the D2O analysis, and Baba said, Dr. Narasimhan, Karta has done something. I want to hear what he has done from his mouth. You can go. That is what he said. And Dr. Narasimhan just left. And I was left alone with Baba. Can you imagine?
And the discussion thereafter?
Thereafter, the discussion was, he wanted, show me. He told me, show me what you did. I started from zero, how we prepare standards. See, there are many interesting incidents like that. Because Bombay, you know, is notoriously high humidity. The heavy water, you open the bottle, it will get diluted. So we had to make a dry box. We learned the hard way. Whenever we tried a standard, the value was not correct. So then we realized it was because of the humidity, though it was an air-conditioned room. So we built a dry box, did everything in the dry box, filling the infrared cell and stoppering it, and then only take it out. So all this I showed Baba and said, this is the important part of the experiment, because if I expose even for a few seconds, the concentration will change. I can't afford that. So he was really convinced we have done the proper things. And since you asked, let me make a much more interesting thing. When the drums were to be opened and tested, you know what happened? There were about 100 drums, each 100 liter. Each drum was to be tested and certified. The drums came from Chalk River, Canada. They supplied the heavy water, we made the uranium. And the Canadian technicians came with the drums. He didn't have faith in our opening and filling it in the reactor. They said, we will do that. And they all came. So we were in the lab. They were in the store where the drums were stored. The drums were stored in a shed, not an AC lab or anything, in a shed near Cyrus. They sent us first sample. I analyzed. Instead of 99.7, it was only 95 or 96, like that. I gave that value, reported that value. They said, no, nonsense. What are you talking about? Look at the drum. The drum shows 99.97. Let us see again. They said another sample. It was worse. About 5 to 6 samples, they tested us. All were useless. Then Prasad called a meeting. Karta, what is happening? Then I realized what was happening. I told them, let me see how you are taking the sample. We went to the stores and opened shed. It was Bombay near the sea. Can you imagine? They just took a new drum, removed the lid, looked around for a bottle. One bottle was there on the table, took the bottle, took a big syringe, a 100 ml syringe, and rinsed it. They already had heavy water in another bottle. Took that heavy water, rinsed the syringe, because they said, if you don't rinse the syringe, the heavy water will get diluted. Poor fellows didn't realize the syringe is being rinsed with a very dilute heavy water, which was open and kept in the room in the high 100% humidity. So they dipped the syringe into the drum, took out the sample, opened the bottle, which was just an ordinary bottle, Pyrex bottle. full of atmospheric air, poured it into this and gave it to me. I said, I don't want that sample. Let me come and sample your lab. I went back to the lab, made a evacuable bottle which can be closed, which had a polyester tubing, which can be closed with a clip. I evacuated the bottle, took it to the drum, opened a fresh drum. The end of the polythene bottle I dipped in the water, deep inside, opened the clip. Because it was vacuum, the water rushed in. I closed the clip, took it to the lab, gave the value, exactly what was on the drum. So we all had a good laugh. Like that, several things have happened because all this happened because, see, those fellows in Chalk River, they can do it. It is 0% humidity in winter in Chalk River. It's all ice, snow. There is no water vapor in the atmosphere. So like that, they came here, opened the drum, took out and rinsed it with a heavy water, which was already kept open, and filled another open bottle. So, whereas when I started standardization, I had all these problems. I learned the hard way. So, like that sort of interesting things happen. That is why I said about faith in us. What about all the engineering students? Mehta, all those people. What about all the physics people? Dasanacharya, Satyamurthy. What about chemical engineering? You know, Mr. Kurup was a trainee, first batch. He was, I think, director of the ISRO in Tumba. And what about APJ Abdul Kalam? I hope I am right. He was the second year trainee, I think. I am not sure. Like that, Bhabha supplied all the institutes. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to boast.
Okay, sir. Anyone else want to make comment? Dr. Jayaraman?
No, no
So,
comments. It was a complete presentation, like the man whom he described. The presentation was complete as the personality he described.
Yeah.
Dr. Chandrajudan?
Dr. M.P. Parameswaran is from first batch.
He was really...
Yes.
He's saying Thrissur.
Thrissur, yes. His contribution in the non-nuclear field is pretty high in science communication. And Dr. Venkatavaradhan recently passed away.
Oh gosh.
So we have a galaxy from the training school itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Jha, SS Jha, theoretical physics. Dasanacharya, Satyamurthy, they perfected the neutron crystallography, solid state physics and condensed phase physics. We were one of the leading groups. And of course, Dr. Narasimhan, Dr. Shankar, Dr. Thale, they all gave us so much support. Okay.
Dr. Pankajashan?
Shall we sign off?
No,
Shall we sign off?
No, Dr. Kartha told me many more things which I don't know. So actually, I am from fourth batch. He is from first batch, so he knows more of Dr. Bhabha. We had a small time only with him. Of course, I have met him several times because he used to come to radiochemistry laboratory and isotopy laboratory. He was very much interested. He used to put his hands into the gloves and push up and down and see. See, when you
that's the whole...
the other one will come out,
See, that's the whole point.
Yes.
He was not a table scientist, chair scientist.
So when he put the hand inside and pulled it, the other one will come out. Only thing is that we were very much afraid of his visit because if there is any dust anywhere, we are caught. That's very important. He will come and put his hand and scratch on the glove box.
You can't bluff.
Can't bluff.
So, Dr.
One
Krishnan,
meeting
any
he
more,
told,
any more comments?
in one meeting he told,
Doctor-
the cream of Indian University is right in front of me. About training school students, he told, the cream of Indian University is right in front of me. He addressed the training school people.
Dr. Krishnan, you want to say something?
Yeah, Dr. A.V. Hariharan from the first batch made the first plutonium pellet for BARC.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the CAA was after him until
Yes.
he retired.
Yes, yes. The
He's-
1974 PNE.
He is living in Texas, Austin.
And that Nambudri didn't come. Dr. Nambudri, sir. No?
Nambudri, I had invited. I had
Hariharan, Nambudiri and Rangan were the
Yes,
people
they-
who gave us the plutonium.
Plutonium people.
Yeah.
Natarajan
And all
was
the three
there.
are
in the
here.
beginning. Natarajan also was there, but then
But he left us.
he passed away after
Kidney
few
problem.
years.
He had a kidney failure.
Anybody want Dr. Sikik Nair?
Nikkekan has come?
Yes.
I didn't see
Saw
him.
him here.
Sankadaranan? You want any comments?
No.
If I think it's already 8:10, I think Dr. Karta has to go and take his dinner. He was selling his dinner. They will stop it after 8 o'clock. Now 8 o'clock they close the dining hall. Today he has requested them to extend by half an hour.
For his
So I
old
think
colleagues.
if there are no more questions, I think we'll stop it now. We'll give a very
We should
big
not make
thank
him miss
to
lunch.
Dr.
Dinner.
Karta for this wonderful talk. We are really enjoyed and we could learn many things. When I visited you and I came to your place, we saw the way you are interested and the way you are talking with a lot of enthusiasm about Baba. You are explained to us how Baba came to your room and how Baba. That all the story just now you told me, and we are very happy. Yeah. At least there are few people like you, Dr. Krishnan. There are few people who could directly interact with Dr. Baba. Now we are very happy to see you, and we wish you very happy life, happy stay in that place, and a very healthy and
Thank you. Thank you very much.
healthy life ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Well,
much, sir.
Dr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Govindaguti, I want to just add, you have thanked Dr. Karta. We wish to thank you also. You took the pain to go to Dr. Karta along with Unnikrishnan. Along with Unnikrishnan, I know. I was to say that and did all that is required.
No, I was surveying whether I can go and fit there. I was also planning to looking for a old age home.
Taking so much pain is something very great. And as Jayaraman said,
I am so sorry. I did not mention that. Dr. Govindaguti taught me how to do this internet conference.
I had the same. I had an intention.
I
I had an intention to visit the place and future. I thought I will probably have to go.
He took me step by step. Step by step, he took me. And
I'll come here. I'll come to you again, sir.
For
When I
any
get time, I'll come and visit you once more.
I think Dr. Cherry has come there.
Okay.
Dr. Murali, you want to say something?
Not really. I come from a generation which is much later, We came to Trombay after the time of Dr. Bhabha. We are blessed that we could hear Dr. Karta lucidly on Dr. Bhabha as an individual, Dr. Bhabha as a scientist, and Dr. Bhabha as a visionary. We are very thankful to him for reminding us about those days. Thank you so much, Dr. Karta. On behalf of the younger generation, I'm 73, but thank you so much.
I had a glance of his student, Dr. Venu.
Dr. Karta is only 90.
Dr. Venu, anything?
And we returned on the same day.
Your boss.
We are all young now. We are all young.
Comparatively, we
Okay, no, this is
Okay,
fine.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
And good night. Thank you so much.
Chandra Jordan, are you keeping quiet? You're mute. Yeah,
Yeah, I am sitting spellbound here after hearing such a wonderful talk by Dr. Kartha. So only thankful, and one important point which I noted was how Baba practiced what he preached. He didn't want the bureaucratic limitations to come in the way. He practiced it by directly talking to Dr. Kartha and evaluating the methods adopted by him, and asking Dr. Narasimhan that he need not interfere in the process. That was a wonderful point which I noticed, and thank you very much, Dr. Kartha, for a very, very informative talk. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ranganathan, you want to say something? You raise your hand, Ranganathan.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say that he, in his time before, by 1966, the first plutonium plant was established by him. First plutonium plant in 1965. That was in his 1 year before he died. So that is one accomplishment, the biggest accomplishment he has made in his time. I want to say that. That was missed in his talk.
Okay, I think if nobody else wants to ask any comment or question, I think we will stop it. We'll once more.
You have anything to say?
At least Dr. Kartha can have his dinner in peace. That's what you're saying.
In peace. Otherwise, he may miss his
lose his
dinner.
dinner.
Let us say once more a big thank you, Dr. Kartha, for coming
Thank you.
and blessing us and finding your valuable time for spending with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, thank
Thank
you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you, sir.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you all.
Dr. Kishan, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you all.
We'll talk to you in the tomorrow also.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
goodbye.
you all. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye. Bye.
Thank
Good
you. Good
night.
night to all.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you, Govindamurti. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.